Hmm. Technical difficulties. I definitely have to move my router because the way my router's set up, it's well, the router's downstairs for one, but it's it's plugged in to the loosest outlet in the entire house. Don't know why, but that's where it's plugged in at. I've been meaning to move it, but it escapes my mind all the time. But at least once a week, it gets slightly bumped, and then all of a sudden, everything's disconnected. So that will be added to the list of things to do. hmm But let's go ahead and finish our wardrobe change. Yes, sir. My man's looks like a real god of war. We gotta run with the Sparta. I don't like that it clips Mimir's face. I don't like it. Oh, I wish they worked that out better. All right, bare chest it is. Yeah, the router got bumped, and it's in the loosest outlet of the house. So I've been meaning to move it, but I forget about it when it's working.
Proceed.
Last thing I told you was that I'd become an apprentice to a mage healer of renown. I learned much from her, not just about the healing arts, but about how to live a complete life, a whole life, true to yourself. She was like a mother to me, which made it all the more painful when she too fell ill. It was the same illness that had taken my father. But this time would be different. It was my chance to apply everything she taught me to try and save her. Anyway, I think that's a good place to pause my story.
It's a super sad note to end on there, but I get it. Not everybody has a cheerful story. All right, we're gonna scroll through a little bit more of what's on sale on the PlayStation Store real quick. I promise I'll make it quick. Payday 3, $29.99. Lego Star Wars, $23.99. Star Wars collection pass to the Star Wars game. That doesn't matter. Um, Sekiro, $29.99. I've been thinking about playing that. I might actually get that. It'll definitely be down the road when I play it. Witcher 3, $14.99 for the director's cut, but the original version without the director's cut is $11.99, which is a really good deal. I've been meaning to. I've started that game 3 different times, but I'll put it down and I'll be gone from it for a while, and I'll try to go back, and I'm like, where did we leave off? So I I think I'll be able to actually get through it when I stream it. So I'll actually get it right now. And there we go. I love Witcher 3. Yeah, I've heard amazing things about Witcher 3. And I enjoyed playing it the times that I did play it. And I really love the series on Netflix because Henry Cavill is such an amazing actor. And I feel like he really got snuffed from Hollywood because they cut him from The Witcher. They cut him from Superman, and it's just, and I haven't seen him starring in roles lately. It's like they just completely just cut him off of everything, which is very upsetting because he's an amazing actor, and if you watch his interviews, he's such a real person. Like he has a he has a video. Is a stud whom Hollywood doesn't deserve. Yeah, exactly. But he's such a nerd, like along with us. He has a video. It's either on YouTube or Instagram where it's a full length video of him building his PC. Yeah, he plays Warhammer and he builds his own figurines. He does not hire people to make them. Like he makes them himself because he's like the proper way to play it and to be like respectful to the game is to make sure that you are putting your creativity into it. And that makes me respect him so much. And I don't know if you know, but the reason why he got I watched the PC build video. Yeah. The reason why he got snuffed from playing uh, Geralt was because he's a diehard fan of Witcher, of the Witcher series, and the director wanted to go a certain way with the show, and Henry was like, "No, the books are this way. We should stay true to the lore that everybody is a fan of." And he would say it on set, like, "I'm not doing that. Like, this is what Geralt would do because this is what Geralt has already done." And eventually, the director kind of went behind his back and canceled the show on him, and then they rebooted it with another actor. It's like, man, if you're gonna hire him because he respects the lore and he respects the character and he respects the I forget what it's called, but like the backbone. I know there's another word for it, but the backbone of the story. Like if you're gonna hire him for that, then don't get mad at him for trying to stick to it. And he's an amazing actor with amazing work under his belt. Like he's obviously not wrong when it comes to that. I watched the series, I loved it, and hated to hear how they. Oh, hold on. Oh, I got the wrong live pulled up to read the chat. What the heck? Well, where are you? 1 second. These technical difficulties are technically being difficult. I watched the series and loved it and hated to hear how they did him, honestly. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But anyways, we're going to run through Borderlands 3, 1999, or you could get that's the deluxe edition. If you just want the bare bones of Borderlands, it's $8.99, $9. Xenoverse 2 Super Pack 1 is $4.99, and so is the rest of the Super Packs. There's a lot of them. Dead Space is $27.99. There's a lot of Super Packs for Resident Evil Village, $15.99. All right, we're just going to run through a few more. Midnight Suns, the Marvel game, $17.99. Sifu, $13.99. Demon Slayer, $27.99. And let's find one that's worth ending on. Far Cry 6, free to download with PlayStation subscription. Saving for BG3, that's about it. If it's not free, I can't afford it. LOL. No, I'm the same way. I'm the same way right now. I'm just kind of trying to build up the catalog of what's for sale, what's not. Um, take advantage of deals that are worth taking advantage of right now. But I think the only thing I'm really going to spend money on right now is seafood because it's $13.99 and its original price is $40. So I'm just going to take advantage of that while it's there. Oh, and then what else did I get? Oh, Witcher. But yeah, other than that, making sure this overtime pays off. Burst of Rage. Distort. This'll. This. This relic has been what I've been waiting for. Because I tell you right now, Tyr will not survive this combined with the elemental spear. I'm telling you right now. If I don't get the elemental spear, guess what? We're staying up all night. I'm just playing. I can't do that. Not yet. That's Friday. If I don't beat this tonight or tomorrow, Friday night, we are staying up, and I promise you, I will cheese it, and I will keep going back to the shore and running through Valhalla till they give me my elemental spear. Give me some of that. Okay, that was a bad block. That was a bad block. I promise I'm so much better than what this little warm-up shows. This time around, I did not wait and do a warm-up round. I just jumped right into it. Give me a rage burst. Somebody get this man a spear. Somebody get this man a spear. Sounds like a countryman saying a beer with a lisp. Somebody get this man a beer. Somebody get this man a beer. You thought I forgot about you? Watch this. Pop. Pop goes the weasel. Alright. Thrust of it. That will do wonders on Tyr if he wasn't so nimble. So let's look at this one. Finger of Ruin. That's not going to lift Tyr in the air. Anytime I hear should we re-roll? Pop goes the weasel. I think of when Frieza said it in DBZ. Oh, he said it in DBZ? I haven't rewatched DBZ in so long. I think the last time it's been a while. I haven't rewatched DBZ since it was on Nickelodeon for the Kai version. I'm gonna run this, by the way. Blowing up. Oh my gosh. Well, Frieza's always had no chill. Man goes around the entire galaxy or entire universe, just calling everybody the most rudest of names. I rewatch it twice a year. So what I do rewatch, which I think I told you this in October, I rewatch the Cell arc very regularly because it never fails to hype me up of watching Gohan surpass everybody and go Super Saiyan 2. Next attack to strike. That will help with Tyr. That will build up his stagger more. High luck. Chance to grant a rage burst when parrying. Ooh, both are parries. Do I want a Rage Burst to get more health? Or do I want an attack after parrying? Let's do Rage Burst. Yeah, Rage Burst will come in more handy. Because as long as I can survive the fight, that's all that matters. I'm not too worried about strength. Well, I mean, of course I want the strength. But honestly, all I need to really focus on, I don't even need to focus on knocking down Tyr's health, really. I just need to focus on staggering him. Because stagger will take a lot of health away. I forget what we were collecting the Chaos Crest for. I think it was for the Resurrection Stone right before Tyr.
We've come this far. Anything we need this moment.
Why don't I get a Resurrection Stone? This game went from a 10 out of 10 to a 9.8 real quick. What you doing over there? Okay. Give me that question mark. I feel like I've asked you this before, Roby, but what's your favorite arc? I'm confident in saying that I think you said the Android arc. Oh, I've seen that video before too. I need to focus on this fight. I've seen that video before too, but I don't think... Oh, I thought that was a thing. I've been meaning to try that too. I get Hawaiian rolls too often to not, and I make grilled cheese too often to not. I gotta set the trap so I can spring it. Oh my gosh. Frieza arc is my favorite overall, but my favorite to watch for pure entertainment, excitement, hypeness would be the Android Saga for sure. Okay, yeah, because I mean I should have connected two and two together because you said your favorite transformation for the nostalgia was Super Saiyan 1. So I should have already connected that Frieza arc was your favorite overall. The androids were just so cool to me, and they actually stayed the strongest characters for what seemed like half of that arc in the Cell arc too. Oh yeah, they were a force to be reckoned with. Dr. Gero was somebody that was pretty laughable to me, but his creations though, stand on business. I'm one of the few that believe Dragon Ball Z should have ended at the Frieza arc and it would have been better overall. I agree that I think this might be a hot take or whatever. I think Goku's story as a character peaked at the Frieza arc. But I don't think that everybody else's story peaked at the Frieza arc. Because Piccolo definitely became a better, stronger character. Krillin, not so much. The Z Fighters definitely get snubbed in future arcs. Like Yamcha, Tien. Like, they try to keep them relevant, but it just doesn't work. Like, because you look at it and you're like, you're going to show up, you're going to hold somebody off, but you're no Super Saiyan. And that's what kind of disappoints me. Not that I ever liked them all too much. Probably because I never watched the original Dragon Ball. Oh, there we go. Original plan from Akira Toriyama. Oh, I agree. Well said. Original plan was to actually end it at the Frieza arc. That's why everything after that feels different. Yeah. Yeah, now that you mention that, like, everything definitely feels a little out there. I wouldn't say, like, forced, but it's definitely out there. See, what I heard is that... Ooh. This is the weapon one, right? Hold on, let's look up the codex for lessons. Valhalla symbols. Weapon glyph, right? Yeah, so let's go ahead and open that one up. Drastically increase the power of general advance. Detonating throw has increased stagger resistance, I guess, but that's not... You said it really well, though. Goku's story feels complete at the end of the Frieza arc. I never viewed it that way until a few minutes ago. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think about it until you mentioned the article. Like, I feel as character development goes, Goku's story definitely peaked at the Frieza arc. Like, ever since then, like, yeah, he's faced troubles and had to overcome obstacles and whatnot, but, like, nothing's really hit as hard as the Frieza arc. And I think Akira or whoever's in charge of the series now, I think they know that. That's why they've brought him back so many different ways. Like, they brought him back in the flashback for Bardock. They brought him back in to introduce Trunks. They brought him back in Super, of course. They brought... Well, I mean, they didn't bring him back in this instance, but they brought his brother Cooler to hint that there was more lineage to him. Like, I think they understand, like, they can't go too far away from Frieza if they want to keep people excited about Goku. Takes reduced damage and has increased stagger during his basic attacks and skill. That we... Yes, let's do it. Because then, when we're simply hitting tier, we won't take as much damage. Because I don't really count on combos. I just count on the simple bop, bang. You know what I'm saying? All right. Yeah, the two characters are about... Ooh. Yeah, the two characters are about as tied together as Goku and Vegeta at this point. Yeah. And after so many people that Goku has fought after Frieza, Goku still, I think, I don't know if it's different in the manga, but if I'm not mistaken, in Super he still mentions that like Frieza is his most strongest person that he's ever went up against.
I wouldn't say no to some short-time help.
Or maybe I'm misremembering what exactly he said, but that's, if I'm recalling it correctly, yeah. Alright, let's... Frieza's back in the manga, and you guessed it, he's even stronger, lol. Yeah, like, I don't know. It's like they're trying to create that iconic moment again, but the iconic moment is iconic for a reason. Like, don't try to rehash the classic. Like, just try to create something new, which, I mean, I get it. They've been trying, and it just hasn't hit as hard. But it's like, just keep trying. Because, I mean, in the beginning, nobody thought, which, again, I've never watched it, but I'm sure nobody really thought they could get better than the Demon King Piccolo fight from the beginning. But then, looky here, we got Frieza. Alright, you guys need to go. Thank you. Ooh, thank you, Mimir. Mimir is Mimir to watch behind me. You get what I'm saying? As it like mirror, but I said my mirror. Yeah, I know. Creative. Okay, somebody's coming. I need to get out of here, please. Actually, take this piece. Take this piece. All right, watch me. Watch me. Do it. Oh, that barely did anything. Okay, I need you guys to watch this. Tornado. I guess I do run up on people a lot. Combo finishers have a high luck chance to increase Kratos' strength and stagger resistance. I have a lot of strength and stagger. Increase the rate at which rage is gained when attacking status afflicted enemies and using runic attacks. I don't think I'm gonna get a whole lot of runics. So, and I don't want to be pressured to run up on tier when he's status afflicted, because that just calls for a failure. So we're gonna run that one again. Goku name drops Frieza as if they're related or pals. Oh yeah, it's wild how he was just like, yeah, let's go get him back from hell to save the universe. JJK is the anime currently that is producing those classic anime moments nowadays. Yeah, I still got to sign up on my Crunchyroll. Thank you for mentioning JJK. I will actually do that right after I'm done streaming tonight. Stagger build, anyone? Yes, sir. I gotta get that stagger. Otherwise Tier's just gonna piece me up and switch up the weapons on me. See, I thought I would run the katana fight and then have the next fight or the final fight I'm guessing the next fight is the final one, so I'm just gonna say that. But I was guessing that the final fight was gonna be him switching and like rotating through, but I guess it's this one. I guess he did mention that this is his last weapon, so yeah, that means that the next fight would be the last one. So I'm right to presume I'm not getting a resurrection stone. I call hacks. Somebody's hacking my game, making sure I'm not progressing. Give me this. Crazy thing about JJK TikTok content creators, actually tons of them had dozens, if not hundreds of videos taken down due to the fact they mostly are using leaks and spoiling stuff. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the creators of JJK, because there's many instances where I've popped on TikTok and I've seen stuff and I'm like, I know this is JJK, but I have no information that can like let me know what's going on, so I'm not technically getting spoiled. But once I start watching the show, of course I'm gonna remember that video where so and so is beating up so and so, and I'm like, oh well, now I know how this is eventually gonna go. Oh my gosh, please back up, get down, leave me alone. Oh my gosh, puppy dog. I need you to go. I need you to... Oh. I guess I had a spear in him. Of course I still got it, Mimir. Who do you think I am? I'm the guy that put your head on my hip. I'm sad the creators are losing money. However, I am thankful that TikTok is cracking down on the spoilers, because the JJK community is the absolute worst with spoilers. No warnings, no nothing. Don't get me wrong, yeah, I'm definitely saddened about the creators that kind of count on that monetization, but at the same time, respect the fans that can't watch the midnight drops, or can't watch or don't know anything about the manga or anything like that. Like, still show some respect. Like, there's still other people that want to be as excited as you. Drastically increase the power of the... See, the thing is, I use the spear so much, I don't even know what moves they're talking about. To me, it's just spear poke. Spear poke heavy, spear poke light, spear poke leap, spear poke sweep, spear poke tornado, spear poke throw. That's all I know. When the Maelstrom skill is fully successful, spear attacks have moderate luck chance of cooldown. I've been starting to rely on my runics less, so I only use them in tight situations. That man said I call it spear poke. That's actually it's just spear poke. We don't gotta come up with fancy names. Y'all gonna have me go up against the Chosen but not give me my elements? That's wild. That's wild. Hacks. Hackers are in this game. Respect the fans, exactly. Yeah, put this head up on your hip. Then I dip. You dip. We dip. Oh, sorry. I've just been rolling around. As I continue to just roll around. Watch this. Watch this. Bow. Yes, sir. You see your friend there? Yeah, that's gonna be you.
There's the one Valhalla's marked.
Oh my gosh. I don't. Nope. No. You son of a bitch. Get out of here. Oh, I didn't mean to hit you. Oh my gosh. Can we not? Why am I hitting my... Why am I hitting that?
Above you! Watch out!
So I've noticed, which I could be wrong. Oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure the Dark Elves are all males and the Light Elves are all females. Just a little fun little thing I think I might have found out. But I could be wrong. See, this pisses me off. You don't do anything except for blind me. Like, do something. Like, can you not throw hands? Me saying that while I'm doing spears too. But I'm not blinding him. You know what? Matter of fact, I don't even know how I knew you were coming, but I did.
Behind you! Incoming! Nasty hit!
You son of... Bro. Can you... I cannot stand Dark Elves. Oh my god. Are you kidding me?
And Valhalla keeps the score.
That is ridiculous. That honestly just boiled my blood. Stupid Dark Elf. Yeah, Dark Elves never evolved to learn the way of the hands. Yeah, no. They rely so much on their spears, and that will be their downfall. And has been their downfall. Cremation. Okay. Speaking of which, I need to remember to talk about my video game idea on stream tonight. Ooh. What's the video game idea? I'm just kidding. I'll wait until your stream to watch it. And listen to it, I should say. I ended up I was watching your stream last night, but I passed out so quick. I passed out from the time that you mentioned that the end of the anime was like a drop in the bucket compared to the world of Hunter x Hunter. I remember you saying that, and I don't remember nothing else because I passed out so fast. Not because I wasn't entertained or anything, just because of how busy this week's been. Yeah, I woke up and I finished watching that segment. I haven't finished watching the full stream yet. Any new news from the lore of the Old Republic? Oh my gosh. Okay, so glad you mentioned it. For one, I'm a little irritated at Spotify because I didn't realize that they limited the hours that you could listen to the books that they have on there, and I hit my limit today. But I got a good amount of the way into Revan before it paused me. So before
Time to ascend to the next area. If you're ready.
Before I dive into the Revan story, one second. You know, I always have ideas flowing through my noodle. Oh, for sure. LOL, I'm glad you were able to get some solid rest. That's what's most important to me. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I try not to fight my sleep too much. Usually like the first wave of sleep, I'll fight it off. But by the time the second wave hits, like, yeah, I either don't, I either choose not to fight it off, or I just really just can't. Um, but anyways, um, okay, let's do this. Um, so before I dive into what happened in the book right now, first I need to speak on what I know so far. I don't know a whole lot, but I know enough to kind of speak on it, just a little bit. And I'll be honest, if there's any questions that um, are asked while doing this little breakdown, um, if there's questions asked and I don't know it, I'll be completely honest and I'll look into it and I will give you an answer sometime uh, sometime later once I've looked more into it. But before I talk about what happened in the Revan book right now, first we're going to talk about Mandalorians, and I promise that it will make sense. Um, so the Mandalorians are a race of warriors. Um, they basically their religion, which is their, like, that's how they describe it. Their religion is to be strong and be warriors. Um, their leader's name is Mandalore, and not that they were born with that name. It is a title given, and once you reach the level of Mandalore, you are Mandalore. Like there's Mandalore the Wise, Mandalore the Brave, um, Mandalore the Conqueror, and stuff like that. Um, but mind you, this is a a planet of people that are all warriors. So you know that with them judging people by strength, there is always going to be that challenge. There's always going to be a challenge to you of your strength and whatever. So, all right, where was I getting them? So with that, there are factions of Mandalorian people. And the best way I can describe it, something like close to home, modern day, whatever. It's like, all right, so there's extremists, and there's factions, and within those factions there's some extremists. And it's sort of like, so sorry. Within those extremists and factions and whatever, like they all believe in the same thing. They all believe in the stronger person should lead us. And I'm sorry, I gotta stop running around real quick so I can think about what I'm trying to say. So within those factions and within those extremist people, they all believe in the same thing. And the best way I can describe it is like there's factions within Christianity and Catholicism. Like those are two separate religions, and there's factions within that religion, but they all believe in one God. And it's just like Mandalorians. There are extremists of people that are like, we're gonna go to war against everybody because Mandalore should never be limited to one planet. And there's the other side of people that are like, no, Mandalore should just protect our planet. Mandalorians should just protect our planet, and nobody should ever conquer us. And that's where we should just keep our focus. They, they, they're dueling motivations, but they all look to one leader. And whoever is Mandalore, like regardless of what the factions want, they respect and honor him. And in that way, well, actually, in the warrior aspect, they're more leaning towards like the Vikings. They're very much like Vikings because they believe the best way to die and the most honorable way to die is in battle or fighting for something you believe in. Who do the Mandalorians work for? That's the thing. They don't work for nobody. They follow Mandalore, and that's it. If a Mandalorian has a boss, or if a Mandalorian has if they work for somebody, they are basically like what's it called? They're not exiled, but nobody really pays them attention. Yeah. If they have a boss or anything, because like in the Book of Revan, one of them becomes a mercenary, and he ends up coming back to the planet where the Mandalorians are shunned. Yes, they become shunned. He comes back after becoming a mercenary, and everybody kind of looks at him, and they're just like, I don't know. But then like one person ends up accepting him, and then everybody was like, all right, let's go ahead and accept you. But anyways, so basically one person becomes Mandalore, usually within combat. Well, actually, no, that's the Darksaber, which is a whole different era of Mandalorians. This is before the Darksaber, so I won't even dive into the Darksaber quite yet. But in this era of the Old Republic, the person who is Mandalore has the Mandalore helmet, which is from the very first person that was titled Mandalore, and his name was actually Mandalore. And his show of power was his helmet. So that's what was passed down. Think of it like, think of Mandalore like the Pope. And except for the Pope, he rules until death. Well, I mean, so does Mandalore, I guess. But he can be challenged also. Sorry, let me beat this Trekkie. Okay. So he can be challenged in battle, and if he loses, then that helmet then goes to whoever beat him in combat. But other than that, like, it's till death. Once you're Mandalore, you're Mandalorian till death. You are the Pope of the Mandalorian people. So that being said, the Mandalorians had a war. They started a war against the Republic, aka the Jedi, aka the Senate. They went to war against the Senate, which going to war against the Senate entails you're going to war with the Jedi, because the Senate aren't soldiers. Yeah, we're not changing the relic. I wish I got health from that. But anyways, the Mandalorian people went to war with the Republic due to
Lysandra was clearly important to
oh,
you.
hold up.
Why did you say your feelings for her were complicated?
Because she was a good wife, and I was not a good
That's what
husband.
I assumed.
I refused to listen, to heed her advice. I commanded armies, had responsibilities to them I thought greater than those to her. But that was hubris and ambition. The truth is, it never even crossed my mind to consider her advice or needs.
Damn.
So, when I think of her, I can only see my failures. She deserved better from me. And that was long before my oath to Ares led to...
All that was to follow. I understand, brother.
Damn. 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 I don't know what else to say other than that. Like, he's like, man. Sorry, man. I wish I would have listened to her. Like, she was a good wife. I just was not a good husband. I wish I would have respected her enough to listen to her and her needs. And by the time I could have made that change, it was too late. And she and my daughter were dead in my arms due to my own selfishness and hunger for power. Yeah. Neglected to ask her stance and position on their life. That is so important. Their life. Like, I get you're a general. I get that you were trained since birth to be a soldier. But I am your wife now. Like, this is our lives. Your pain is our pain. Your struggles in war is our struggles in war. Kratos out here providing legitimate life advice to help all us grow from the inside out. Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay. So they went to war with the Republic. The Republic was fighting and fighting and fighting. Fighting for years. The Mandalorian people actually were a very intimidating force to the Jedi. Because you're so used to seeing Jedi just walking through, cutting people down, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? The Mandalorian people are warriors. They see a lightsaber, they're like, all right, how do we get around that? Oh, it cuts through metal? All right, we're gonna find a material of metal that it can't cut through. Ba boom. Beskar metal is a metal that lightsabers cannot penetrate through. It will bounce right off. And then they're like, oh, they use the Force. They can control objects and manipulate them and move them around. Okay, well, guess what? We're not primarying rockets or anything like that. What are we gonna use that they can't manipulate in a full scale? Fire. They put fire on their flamethrowers on their wrists. You can force push fire away from you once, but if it's coming at you from all sides, good luck. I'll get to the rare metal here soon. But yeah, highly trained from a very young age. Like, very, very much like Spartans. Like, trained since you were a kid. But yeah, so they were a very intimidating force for the Jedi to face. And this went on for years on end. And along comes Revan. Think of Revan as the Anakin Skywalker of his time, on a scale of power. He is the most skilled, efficient, strongest Force user of his time within the Jedi Order. At least I could be wrong on that. I think he has the potential. I think that's what it was. The potential to be the strongest out of the entire order at this moment. At this moment in time. Not where the book's at, but at the timeline that I'm talking about. The Mandalorian War. And he ends up later in the war, he takes him and his friend Malik and his other friend, I forget her name. I forget her name. She's so important, but I'll get to it because she just started getting introduced in the story before Spotify stopped my listening. But yes, so it was Malik and basically his lieutenant, who's also a Jedi. They go to war, or they take the war to the Mandalorian people, and they're on a moon. Not a moon that we would consider a moon. It's just not a large enough planet to be considered a planet, if that makes sense. But they're on a moon, and they have an experimental weapon, and I forget what it's called. It's like the Phantom something. And they're attacking, and they end up blowing up the experimental weapon. The weapon explodes. The weapon explodes. It ends up causing a domino effect to where, hold on, where's my health at? Yes, sir. Actually, yes, sir. It causes a domino effect to where the
choice regarding your fate must be nice.
A domino effect to where the weapon is destroyed, but so is the planet. And the planet explodes. And due to the planet exploding, the planetary gravity within that moment and that pressure and that power of the explosion, it pulls in both the Mandalorian army and some of Revan's army. Now, Revan and Malik are far enough away to where it doesn't really affect them. But the third Jedi that's with them, that her name is escaping me, is close by. And she feels every single life dying in that moment, both their army and the Mandalorian army. And she feels every single person dying in that moment. So much so that she ends up cutting herself off from the Force, so that she does not feel that pain anymore. And from there, Revan and Malik end up capturing Mandalore and defeating him in combat. And they take his helmet and they are off to another planet. Meanwhile, the third Jedi that's with them goes back to the council. and the council learns of how they handled the situation with the Mandalorians, and they basically kicked her out of the order.
You win this round, Kratos.
They kicked her out of the order, but she was cut off from the Force anyways. So she wouldn't have even been able to be a Jedi, really. Alright, 1 second.
Charging at us.
Alright, we're gonna take a pause on that story, just bookmark where I left off so I can remember where to pick up at.
Sever the link already. Behind you, dummy.
Oh, I can use my relic.
Getting siphoned right flank. Wrong weapon, man.
This is not a good run at all.
Getting harder as you delay, Kratos. You took out Valhalla's target, in case you didn't notice from killing frenzy.
You know, okay, hold on. What time is it? 9:36. I'm not confident enough in this run right now. I think it'd be better if I go back from the beginning, get better stats and everything, and try this run again. So that way I'm not wasting my time or your guys' time. But yeah, okay. Let's see. When you cut yourself off from the Force, what are the negative effects aside from obviously not being able to use the Force abilities? There's no negative effects other than not being able to use the Force abilities or anything. And you can open yourself up to opening up to the Force again. It's mainly just kind of, it's basically just taking the tutorial again on just kind of like reintroducing yourself on the little things, and then basically like a computer, everything will just reboot. But so the third Jedi, let's build up our strength. So the third Jedi cut herself off from the Force.
These would make a real and lasting difference.
Let's do that. Dang. I messed up. Oh well. I messed up again. She cut herself off from the force, went back to the council, was basically fired, and she ended up putting herself in exile. Meanwhile, Revan and Malik went. So I'll say it like the story went before I dive into the book. Revan and Malik took the Mandalore helmet and went off into the unknown regions. And Mandalorian people basically collapsed. They had no leader. They had no symbol of leadership. Like, I guess the best way to put that would be, imagine if there was only one Bible in the world, and somebody came and they took it and they hid it and they never disclosed where it was going or anything. People of Christianity and Catholicism alike would just be lost. Yeah, like the Book of Eli. So Revan and Malik took the helmet and they went into the unknown regions. When they came back, they were Darth Revan and Darth Malik. Mind you, these were one of the most loyal Jedi of all the council. But when they left and came back, Darth Revan, Darth Malik. So from there, we will pick up where the book goes. For That's a nice little alternative. Sorry, I got distracted by seeing Elemental Spear. So, the book begins. Revan is a Jedi once more. I know you're disappointed not to hear more about his dark era. So was I. But it's okay. We have much more story to go. Story begins. Revan is back as a Jedi. No longer evil and twisted. But he knows some of his memories were altered by the Council. Which, that is new information that I didn't know. I know eventually he found out. I did not know that it just became a thing that was known to everybody. I think at first it was a secret, but then once he started like having memories or doubts or whatever, and like looking into stuff himself that just didn't add up, then eventually they were just like, yeah, we twisted your mind, we erased all information you had about being Darth Revan, blah blah blah, and anything leading up to it. Basically they deleted his entire past, even before he was Darth Revan. That is a recipe for disaster. Altered memories never goes well for people. Yeah. So his memories were altered, but he's getting small little things back. And because of the Council altering his mind and him calling them out on it, they basically were like, yo, no, that's not how it went. Yeah, that is how it went. So he went to them and he was like, you guys mess with my brain. that's not a good look on you guys. And he's basically like, look, I'll let it go, but teach me, or let me teach the full scale of the Force to Jedi so they know what they're up against, and that way we can become more powerful of an order. And the council's like, no, because you turned evil when you started tapping into the other side, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, look, what we'll do is, as long as you stay quiet and don't do anything to disturb the order, we'll let you, we'll let our ways kind of, the ways of the Jedi kind of be a little more lenient with you. And so he ended up having a wife openly, not on some secret stuff like Anakin and Padme. Like, it was very open that they were married, very open that they were together. So he got a wife that he himself had brought back from the dark side. She's a Jedi too, that turned to the dark side, and he ended up bringing her back. Now, I'm not sure the timeline of that. I'm not sure if he brought her back before he became Darth Revan or after. I'm not sure of that quite yet. Yep, he got a wifey. He tried to trick them by pulling the wool over their eyes. No, so he wasn't even trying to trick them at this, he was honestly saying, like, hey, let me teach the Jedi, like, the full scale of the Force, because the Force is, like, Revan believed the Force was not good or evil. Like, the Force is just the Force. And there's no reason to not at least know the full scale of the Force. But the Jedi just didn't trust him. And he was like, all right, well, if you're not going to let me do that, then I'm at least going to get married. They're like, okay, just shut up. And then you also learn, oh, he was serious about teaching. That makes sense. No, yeah, you're fine. Oh my gosh. Is this payback for returning to the shore? You guys are pissing me off. This is ridiculous. This is wild. Like, we heard you don't like dark elves. Here's 2 of them. I swear this game kind of randomizes it, but doesn't randomize it. Because they're like, okay, what enemy gets the most hits on you? And we're going to give you a few of them. Oops. Back up. Only one person could get a hit on me. That was a lucky shot. And the same guy hit me. Okay. They religiously make me fight the red booger things. They usually hit me the most. Well, yeah. So I think my hypothesis might be onto something, because them dark elves, man, every time I get pieced up by them. But yeah. So the fun twist of it all, though, the thing that makes it very complex for the Jedi, is that within that time jump from him becoming Darth Revan to him coming back to the light side and being just Revan again. Within that time jump, he returns as a Jedi, and at this point his mind is twisted, so he doesn't believe he's Revan. He returns as a Jedi and kills Darth Malak, ending that specific war. Well, yeah, he comes back, kills Darth Malak, ends the Mandalorian war completely, or ends the war. I forget what they called that one, but he ended that war. And so to the Jedi, he is a hero for a short amount of time, and then they start to see him again as the traitorous Darth Malak, I meant. So it's kind of the vibes that he's getting, and that's mainly why they kind of turn him away. Like, that's why they still show him respect, because he did defeat Malak in the end, but he did turn to the dark side. That's why they respected him enough to keep him on the council, and respected him enough to let him have a wife. But they still were cautious about basically staying to their value, or staying true to their oath of being Jedi, that don't hold contempt and don't hold grudges or anything like that. Like, they just kind of weren't following their own order, honestly. Where you at, Sherlock? Oh. So. Oh. Okay. So yeah, that complicated things. Strength. We're definitely going to do a strength and defense run, because I wasn't paying attention last time and we were getting pieced up. But so what? Oh, shoot. Oh, this is one of those. Is that considered a perk? Right? Would they consider it a perk? Because I don't want to waste... let's do it. Give me that reroll. Lifesteal? Is that when every hit I land, I get health back? Melee attacks have a low chance to restore some cooldown. Let's just run that. I don't think we're really gonna make too much progress tonight. We'll just play it to play it right now. I'm not gonna play it to make progress. I'll just play it to play it and discuss my nerd stuff. But so yeah, he's a hero, but he's also a traitor in the council's eyes. And he's having these dreams of a planet full of lightning and all this and that. And so he deems this a vision of his past life, basically. And he feels like he has to follow these visions to find out what it is to stop them, because he believes the Force is trying to tell him something. So, long story short, he ends up telling his wife, hey, I have to go do this thing. Well, actually, we'll start like this. So he decides to call his friend, who is a Mandalorian, who is now a mercenary. And basically he's explaining it to his friend. He's like, yo, I think something in my brain is telling me something about the Mandalorian people, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to need their help to figure out what this is. I'm pretty sure I'm having visions of where I put the helmet, but I don't know. And I won't know until the Mandalorians allow me access to figure it out. He tells his Mandalorian friend this. His Mandalorian friend's like, okay, well, if you do this, I have to go with you because those are my people, and you're not gonna get more than 10 feet close to them without them just killing you. He's like, all right, fine. I just have to go tell my wife before I go set out on this journey. Goes in there. He's like, hey, I have big news. She's like, I bet my news is bigger. And you already know where this is going to go. She's like, she tells him, I'm pregnant. He's like, damn. I have to go on this journey. And his wife's like, I understand, but also, why does it have to be you? Like, she's like, you said yourself, these visions are more or less dangers that may not come into fruition anytime soon. I was hoping there was a kid involved. Yeah. She's like, you said yourself, like, these visions feel like a threat, but they don't feel like they're a threat anytime soon. And he's like, well, that gives me even more reason to head towards it now, because that threat could be involved. That threat could be something that our child has to face. And us just sitting around not dealing with it now could make it a big problem for our child in the future, or our child's child. And she's like, of course, like, fine, I get it, I understand. He's like, all right. So he ends up going to some planet. I forget what the planet's called, but it's a planet that the Mandalorian people, one of many different factions of Mandalorian people, are searching for the helmet on. What is that? Y'all think you're doing something? Y'all think you're doing something? Oh, wow. What you mean? What's that shield doing for you? What's that shield doing for you? Where's that shield going, huh? What? Yes, sir. Anyways, as I was saying, oh shit. Oh my gosh. I thought I left you guys in Mass Effect. Nah. Oh my gosh. Can we not? This is not... I think I should definitely do a warm-up round before streaming from now on, because this is rough. But where was I at? Okay, so Revan and his Mandalorian friend, I forget, I know it begins with a C, I think it's Cordova. Yeah, Cordova. Malik and Cordova go to a planet. I forget the name of the planet, but it's a cold planet. They go to this planet. Cordova's like, look, you're gonna have to like cover up, blah blah blah. And you're definitely not gonna want to use your name, and you're going to want to leave your lightsaber behind, because ever since the Mandalorian War, Mandalorians don't take too kindly to Jedi. Oh my gosh, y'all are making my. Okay, cool. Not that I dodged that or anything, you know.
There's the one Valhalla singled out for you. Kill strike now.
Where the hell did she go? All the way over there. What do you think you're doing? Yeah. Alright.
Brilliant kill. Valhalla will be impressed.
So, he goes to this planet. Blah, blah, blah. Cordova tells him that, like, we're going to need to be careful. I think it's Cordova. I don't know. We're going to call him Cordova. I feel like I got that from something else, but Cordova. So they go to this planet. They end up meeting with a faction called the Ordo clan. And they surround them. They ask him to identify themselves. He's like, I'm Cordova, Ordo, or Cordova of Clan Ordo. One of them's like, how do we know it's you? He cracks a little joke that only him and the person questioning him would have understood. And then they're like, oh, it is you. Welcome him in open arms. And then the leader of Clan Ordo walks in. Her name's Vila. Vila walks in with more of a cold entrance, and she's just kind of like, what are you doing here, and why do you bring this friend with you, da da da. And she kind of gets on him about how he was gone for so long. I think this is the first time we were able to enter this realm, like from here. Gets on him for being gone so long and becoming a mercenary. I hope he finished talks about, so when I come back to finish stream, I cannot be left on a cliffhanger. Oh no, you're good. So he so he ends up where was I? Vila is questioning Cordova, and she's like, well, you took so long, da da da, and you became a mercenary. And then the other Mandalorian people are like, uh, they're like, basically like, it is what it is. He's here now. And they kind of get dismissed. They get shelter. And Revan's like, well, first, Cordova introduces Revan as Avner, and Revan later tells Cordova, he's like, that's the best you can come up with. You just rearranged some letters in my name, which was kind of funny. But Revan ends up like talking to Cordova, and he's like, geez, like Vila just does not like you. And Cordova's like, yeah, she wouldn't be too happy with me considering that she's my wife and I've been gone for so long. And he's like, oh, okay. But so Revan ends up getting a vision in the middle of the night, and it's a vision that basically tells him that he's super close to finding wherever the helmet is. So he wakes up in the middle of the night, and he wakes Cordova up. He's like, yo, we gotta go tell them, like, we gotta move the camp. And he's like, good luck with that. Like, it's the middle of the night, nobody's gonna move anywhere. And Revan's like, well, it has to do with finding the helmet. Like, they're looking for it in the wrong place. He's like, well, why didn't you just open up with that? And in the middle of the night, Vila ends up Vila is the leader of the clan, but Cordova basically was supposed to lead, but because of him leaving, Vila took over. But anyways, one second. But Vila gathers everybody around. Revan, under disguise, basically tells him, like, look, we're looking for it in the wrong spot. She's like, well, how do you know? He can't say that he's using the Force or it's his memory, so he's like, I have political connections and blah, blah, blah that you guys don't have. She's like, all right, whatever. So they move on. They end up going to a different position. They end up going to a different position and climbing. As they're climbing, another faction comes and is fighting them for entering their territory. Revan, seeing no other choice, pulls out the lightsaber that he was supposed to leave on the ship. While in combat, some of them see the lightsaber, some don't. But the people that do see it is Cordova, Vila, and a few of her soldiers. The other Mandalorians don't see it. After the fight, Vila doesn't say anything really, except for go treat our wounded, because she realizes he's a Jedi and Jedi are good at force healing. So he's like, okay, I'll do that. They end the night. And then the next morning, they finish climbing, and they go Vila basically orders the people that saw him with a lightsaber to climb with him up the mountain. And he's instantly suspicious that, like, she might try to pull something or blah, blah, blah. And they climb all the way to the top. They end up going inside, they climb all the way to the top. Vila and Cordova are soon behind them. Cordova and Revan decide to go. They cut around the corner, and in the mountain is a door. Cordova and Revan end up deciding that they will go down. They go down. Revan sees a coffin. He opens it up. There's the Mandalorian helmet. The helmet of Mandalore. Cordova's like looking at it for a while, and he walks up to go grab it. Vila and her crew pop down. And blasters pointed at him. She's like, do you really think that I wouldn't have figured out that this is Revan, the person that took the helmet in the first place, blah, blah, blah. And Cordova's like, look, he's not the person that he used to be. He's changed. I consider him my brother. And I don't even want this helmet for myself. You're the rightful person to wear it. And she's like, you just don't get it. You were supposed to be in this position, but you abandoned us, da da da. And he's like, I get that, and I'm sorry, but all the clans were in chaos, and there was no order. And she's like, you could have stayed to give it order. And she's like, but we can try it again, but Revan is not leaving this cave. And he's like, well, you can't expect me just to sit by and let you do this. And she's like, well, you gotta pick me or him. And he's like, well, I'm like I said, I'm not going to just sit here and let this happen. She's like, okay. And she's like, she basically tells the Mandalores under her command, fire when ready. And they end up shooting. Revan ends up pulling his lightsaber out, fighting back.
Another weapon, idiot! Charging at us.
Okay, this is not my night. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was a good night. Obviously, it's not. But you know, so Revan and Cordova end up fighting Vila and her few people that she brought with her. They come out on the other side of it. Vila and her crew are dead. Cordova's basically like, what am I gonna tell these people? Like, we left with a whole crew. And it's just gonna be you and I returning back. And Revan basically says to keep it simple and just say, we were climbing up the mountain and we faced resistance, and within the fight, Vila and her crew ended up losing their lives. And he's like, okay. And so he takes the helmet and he declares himself Mandalore the Preserver. Because Revan tells him, oh, well, first, Revan touches the helmet, and from touching the helmet, he gets a new memory. And the memory is that the Mandalore that him and Malik killed
And things just got harder.
ended up
Forget that
uncovering...
haste is a factor here.
Oh my god, shut up. You're ruining my train of thought. Touching the helmet, Revan ended up remembering that when him and Malik killed Mandalore... Oh my god. This is... Okay. I'm learning quick that, like, this is not the game to go into a deep dive with. But we're gonna finish what we started. Actually, oh my god. If I die, I die at this point. Yeah, I'm not gonna revive. I'm gonna finish the story. This game is not the game to do this on. It's my fault for my brain being this way. But anyways. We didn't even make it to tier tonight. That is... honestly... No, I'm not gonna do that.
Well, by this point you've certainly earned your pick of self-improvements. Shall we make a bargain?
Anyways, we're just gonna continue the story. I'm not gonna run in there again. We're just gonna finish up the story and then we're gonna end the stream, and I'm gonna hop over to Roby's stream.
Guna,
Take this. Each accomplishment is a stepping stone to further greatness. How about we finish up my story?
We'll finish it up later. But okay, so Revan tells Cordova, like, there's more to my journey still. I'm still getting these dreams, blah blah blah. And Cordova's like, I'm coming with you. And Revan's like, no, you can't, because my vision with the helmet was Mandalore telling me in his dying breath that he was twisted by the Sith, and basically was a trained dog to the Sith, that the Sith just pointed in the direction of the Republic and the Jedi, and he just went. And the Sith basically just promised him glory and victory and blah blah blah. And he fell for it. And so somehow he traced that down to a different planet, and he goes to that planet, and it's void of life entirely. No insects, no plants, no people, no nothing. And there's no force energy either on this planet. It's really, I don't know. It's hard for me to talk about it more because, like, there's more to the story, but it's hard to talk about because of where Spotify cut my audiobook off at. But yeah, basically, oh my gosh, I don't know, that's a whole other story within the book. But yeah, he's retracing his footsteps from when he was Revan turning into Darth Revan. And he ends up going to this planet that's void of life and everything. There ends up being 2 Sith Lords on there. And they're leaving as he's landing. So they shoot him down. They go down there. One of them grabs him, brings him into his ship. The female Sith automatically recognizes him as Revan. And they go and interrogate him. He's much stronger of a Jedi than they expected. And then also, their interrogating doesn't really help because the questions they're asking him are questions he's trying to answer himself. So their interrogations are going nowhere. And the one Sith lady says to the other Sith Lord, the one female Sith Lord, I should say. The female Sith Lord tells the male Sith Lord to keep trying and be persistent. And he's like, well, I've never faced a Jedi, or I've never interrogated somebody with such strong of will. This could take months or even years. And she's like, well, I'm a very patient person. And then from there, it jumps to 3 years in the future. And Bastila, which is Revan's wife, I don't know why I forgot her name up until now, but Bastila is putting their 3-year-old son to bed. 3-year-old son. He's been gone 3 years of just torture and interrogation. And Bastila knows in her heart that Revan is still alive, but she has no proof. She goes out to her living room to find her guest, which happens to be the female Jedi that Revan more or less abandoned on the fight with the Mandalorians. She has reopened herself up to the Force, and she herself has now become a war hero for a story for another time. And Revan's droid ended up repairing the ship that was shot down by the Sith Lords and programming the ship to fly back home to deliver the message of Revan being kidnapped and blah, blah, blah. And literally that's where the book left off at. Was the wife finally figuring out that her husband is still alive, her son's father is still alive, and before the female Jedi that worked beside Revan leaves with the information of knowing that Revan's alive and about to go try to find him and bring him home, Bastila goes into the closet and she pulls out 2 things. She pulls out a hologram of the 3 birthdays that Revan has missed of their son, and she gives her Revan's Darth Revan helmet. And she's like, why do you want me to give this to him? Like, why didn't you destroy this? Blah, blah, blah. The female Jedi said that. Bastila's like, I've been keeping this from him. I've been keeping a piece of him away from him, knowing that he just wants to be whole again, because I kept it from him out of fear for him to for him to gain this connection again, he will return to his evil ways. And the female Jedi is like, well, what if you're right? What if this does turn him back to being evil? And Bastila says, and this is where I'll end it off at, Bastila tells her, the female Jedi, that she doesn't care what it does as long as it brings him back to her. And that's where it ends. I will pick it up once Spotify lets me listen. But yeah, Revan's story to me is the most interesting of all of the characters of Star Wars lore. Hopefully I'll be able to listen to it more here soon. There's probably some details I missed out on. I'll try my best to look into what I missed and cover the bases. I will also try to find a book that is strictly about Revan turning to the dark side and what he did while he was on the dark side, because there's hints in other books and whatnot, but I haven't found a book that is just primarily Darth Bane in Dark Lord fashion. So both figured out. I'm sorry the stream wasn't really too crazy. I guess I really wasn't in the headspace to stream today. I thought I was, but I wasn't. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I promise you tomorrow will be more entertaining. Gameplay wise, I'll try not to have a conversation that's like, or do not a conversation, but I'll try not to go in such a brain capacity story. I meant to take notes. That's what I meant to do. I meant to take notes so I wouldn't have to think about it on the spot, but it completely slipped my mind. But that's my fault. I enjoy people like Roby that actually care to hear this stuff. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that he messaged. I hope you finished talking about Revan so I can come back to finish the stream. I cannot be left on a cliffhanger. Love the stream, and if I don't see you over on mine tonight, be safe and God bless. God bless you too. You'll definitely see me because I need to decompress. Today, I don't know. I guess today was a lot more stressful than I put on. But yeah. I will be back tomorrow. Better mood. Dang, a full 2-hour stream and I did nothing. I'm very sorry. I will try harder tomorrow. Yeah. And we'll have more fun conversations instead of me just tripping over my own thoughts over and over. And I'll definitely be taking notes throughout the day of what I want to talk about and how I can better describe more Star Wars stuff that I'm listening to. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow, probably around the same time, 8 o'clock. We are definitely going to make progress. I promise you this. We will make progress one way or another. It will not be this, where I'm getting beat up left and right. I honestly would prefer people just not to even to skip this stream. If you're looking back at the recorded video, I would have preferred you not to watch this. I'll probably put it in the description just to give clear information. Hey, this is a Star Wars lore stream and no progress was made. That's probably exactly what I'm going to put just as a disclaimer. But thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow.